So this is just our warm up. This is more or less where we started, and this is her kind of whatever walk. I put a pole out only because she just absolutely hates doing circles, and she sort of finds having a pole a bit more interesting. The reason she's stopping over it is because sometimes we play a game where I ask her to put 1, 2, 3, or 4 feet over the pole. So she was just checking in with me there to see if we're playing the 1, 2, 3, 4 game. And then I asked her to transition up to a little jog trot. I wasn't bothered about the speed. And as you can see, she's not particularly bothered about transitioning up. So that's all we're working on at the moment. She's going to stop again in a minute, I think, because she still thinks she's playing the 1, 2, 3, 4 game. So this is just our little intro, and then I just ask her to change direction. So this is the rein that when we come to cantering, she's very unsure of. She's much happier on her right rein. Her right hind is actually quite weak, so that's why she doesn't want to have that moment where it's the only foot on the ground, really. So this is us just gently warming up, and so not asking an awful lot of her, just getting her body moving.
Yeah.
So that canter was actually her idea. So I joined in with her. Did my game over thing after a few strides because I was really surprised that she offered me that. So then I started thinking about it on this side. As you can see, she's quite anxious. Now that was her idea as well. I didn't actually ask her for it. Normally I'm lucky if I get 1 or 2 strides. So I've made a big fuss of her. I would just say that if I wasn't recording this for you, Shelby, I would have quit on that and gone and done something else because she actually offered me more than she's ever really offered me before. But I thought I'd keep going and just see what we got. And this is what we got. So, interestingly, when I used to do Pirelli with her and I used to try and send her and get her to do a circle, she used to get really mad with me about this on Canter, and I would get her full snorty dragon mode. This range she's actually not that bothered about, so she sort of suddenly realised she was putting in a bit too much effort there because she actually doesn't really have a problem with it. But you're going to see an awful lot of what I want to talk to you about, which is the tension. Here we go, look at this. This is like, you can't make me, I don't want to, you don't understand how hard this is. I get the whole head tossing thing. Having said that, she just canters a circle with the odd attempt at a gallop. But this is her full snorty dragon mode usually. I was trying at this point to keep my energy really low. I wasn't chasing her with my stick. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't want her to hurt herself for a start. I was just trying to keep with her and allow her as much rope as I could, and hope she'd calm down a bit. Now this was me giving her a game over signal, which she completely ignored and tanked off the other way. I thought, okay, right, you got yourself really worked up now. So here she is, speeding right up. I'm trying. The only thing I do is slow her down a little bit, as you'll see, because I don't want her going out of speed on a small circle. But I wasn't asking for any of this. What I actually wanted to do at this point was just walk on her right rein, but as you can see, she wasn't having any of that. And then when she did go on that other rein, she gets really angry again. Well, what I think's angry. I know a lot of this is balanced now. Here, she started to settle a little bit. She started to find, and then she's off again. She's like, no. Awful lot. What you can't hear in the video is a hell of a lot of snorting going on. And in the end, I just shut it down. All I wanted here was a walk. Hopefully my body is saying, I'm not throwing energy at you. I don't want anything. I just want a tiny little bit of walk. I'm not driving as such. So I thought here she was starting to calm down a little bit. But as you can see, there's tension in her body. Even at trot now, she's very tense. She's waiting to be asked for something she doesn't really want to do. You can't really see this on the video, but there was a huge amount of energy coming out of her. She was snorty. Her eyes are rolling around in her head. And I don't know what made me just drop down, but I suddenly thought, we just need a massive time out here. And I was going to, you can't come that close to me with that much energy. Stop. So that was just me going, massive time out. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just asking you to stand still. That's her letting go of a lot of adrenaline at this point.
Yeah.
So, interesting reaction, but I mean, my feeling is this is all coming out of a lack of balance and coordination as much as anything. And she just, it just feels horrible to her in this rain. And I have to say, I did feel pretty bad about asking her to do it, because I would have stopped after she first volunteered. I think she was seriously wishing she hadn't volunteered at this point. But as you can see, she's calmed down a heck of a lot now. She's regained a bit of her composure. And she thought about tanking off at that point. I don't know if you saw it, but she just thought about tanking off and right at the last minute, she didn't tank off. She gave me about half a dozen strides of what I considered to be a really good canter for her. So I immediately shut it down, rewarded her and said, thank you. This is us going the other way. You're going to see her. She goes into trot. She just drops her head. That's the first time I've ever seen her drop her head in a trot transition like that, which is really encouraging. And a pretty soft canter. So that was nice. And at that point, I called it quits because I didn't want to spoil it. That's our canter.